Hello and welcome. This is DD India. I'm Gautam Roy and it's time now to get you the day's top 100 latest developments with Express News. Let's get to it. A Delhi court on Friday sent Tahbur Hussain Rana to 18 days National Investigation Agency custody hours after he was extradited from the US. In a statement, the NIA said that the extradition finally came through after Rana's various litigations and appeals were rejected in US courts. The US Department of Justice issued a statement after 26/11 terror attacks accused Tahbur Hussain Rana was extradited to India from the US. It noted that Rana's extradition is a critical step towards seeking justice for the 6 Americans and scores of other victims who were killed in the heinous attacks. The US State Department has reiterated its commitment to combating global terrorism in collaboration with India after the US extradited Tahbur Rana. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated and laid the foundation stones for 44 projects worth 3,884.18 crore Indian rupees, covering sectors like roads, power, education and sports in Uttar Pradesh's Varanasi. The Indian PM also handed out Ayushman Bharat cards to elderly citizens, distributed GI certificates and transferred 106 crore Indian rupees to dairy farmers. Addressing the gathering, the Prime Minister said that Kashi has now become a symbol of both heritage and modernity. Taking a dig at the previous government, Prime Minister Modi reaffirmed the present government's inclusive approach and said that today the government is working on the mantra of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. The PM also said that the government is in constant pursuit of providing growth opportunities to the youth of Kashi in the fields of sports and is trying to be able to host the 2036 Olympic Games. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar attended the India-Italy Business and Technology Forum in New Delhi. Addressing the event, the minister said that India is working closely with like-minded partners and will continue to build trusted partnerships to address economic issues. The minister also pointed out that the importance of connecting Italy's role in the Mediterranean with Italy's influence in the Indo-Pacific for mutual trade benefit. India's Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal has also attended the event and speaking on the 90 days relief on US tariffs, the minister said that India-US trade talks are progressing well and keeping India first. Speaking at the 9th edition of the Carnegie Global Tech Summit in New Delhi, External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar called for changing the nuclear laws to get investments while stressing that startup culture in India is increasing. Global Technology Summit in India's flagship dialogue on geotechnology, co-hosted by Carnegie India and the Ministry of External Affairs. The theme of the event is Sambhavana or Possibilities. Dr. Jaishankar also discussed how the US has changed its approach to the world in the past year and apart from the US, China has also advanced in the past year. Information and Broadcasting Minister Ashwini Vaishnav and Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis jointly chaired a meeting regarding the preparation of WAVE Summit 2025. During the media briefing, Maharashtra Chief Minister said that Mumbai will host the first WAVE Summit in May this year, adding that Prime Minister Modi will be attending it. A 2-day conference for NCC officers and acting officers was organized at the headquarters of the 6th J&K Battalion in Udhampur, Jammu and Kashmir. Indian equity indices ended on a strong note with Nifty above 22,800 on Friday. At close, the Sensex was up 1,310 points to stand at 75,157 and the Nifty was up 429 points to stand at 22,829. The Indian rupee ended higher at 86.05 per USD on Friday. Gold futures maturing on the 5th of June were priced at 93,680 Indian rupees per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for May 5 maturity stood at 92,905 Indian rupees per kg on the MCX. Global crude oil prices were stable on Friday but on track for their second weekly loss in a row against a backdrop of investor concerns over the burgeoning trade war between the US and China. And official data showed on Friday that Britain's economy returned to growth with a strong expansion of 0.5% in February, in a rare piece of good news for the Labour government as it grapples with unpredictable US tariffs. Finance Minister Rachel Reeves has called the data encouraging but said that there was little reaction in sterling to the surprise growth. European stock markets fell on Friday, reversing gains after China retaliated against massive US tariffs with its own 125% duties on goods from the US. The US dollar plunged on Friday to its lowest level against the euro since February 2022 as a trade war between the United States and China deepened, adding to recession fears. Apple's latest iPhone models, including the iPhone 16, are once again available for purchase in Indonesia after a month-long ban was lifted. The ban was due to Apple's non-compliance with a local content requirement that mandates 40% of smartphone components be sourced from within Indonesia. President Draupadi Murmu attended an interactive session with the members of the Indian business delegation at Bratislava, Slovakia, before leaving for Delhi. Italy's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman and Austria's Minister of Economic Affairs, Energy and Tourism jointly addressed the media in Vienna. During the briefing, Finance Minister highlighted Prime Minister Modi's successful visit to Austria in July last year, further deepening India-Austria partnership. She also emphasized on the political will of the government of India to expand its partnership with Austria. China increased its tariffs on US imports to 125% from 84%, escalating a trade war that could disrupt global trade and trigger an economic downturn. China's move comes after US President Donald Trump on Thursday ramped up pressure on the country by lifting tariffs to 145%, even as he announced a 90-day tariff reprieve on most trading partners. At a open press cabinet meeting, US President Donald Trump said that he would love to get a deal with China to end an escalating trade war. President Trump also predicted that there would be a transition cost and transition problems while discussing his tariff policies during a cabinet meeting. He also claimed that the US was raking in billions of dollars each day as a result of his protectionist policies. The World Trade Organization on Wednesday estimated that the US-China trade tensions could cut the trade of goods between the two economies by as much as 80%. The next round of US-Ukraine talks over the minerals deal will begin in Washington on Friday to align both nations on long-term investment mechanisms reflecting shared strategic interests. US Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is in Russia and is expected to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin on Friday after US President Donald Trump's efforts to broker a ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine. The UK is considering deploying troops to Ukraine for 5 years after plans being discussed by allies. Under the plan, a European-led force would be dispatched to Ukraine to initially deter Russia from breaching any settlement. Representatives of around 50 countries committed to a different defense alliance with Ukraine met at the NATO headquarters on Friday to discuss reinforcing support to Kyiv's military against Russia. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said on Friday that prisoner swaps between Russia and the US helped to cement trust between the two countries at a time when they are trying to rebuild their own. Taiwan is to be included in the first batch of trading partners to hold talks with Washington, President Lai Ching-te said on Friday. As his economy minister said, the island could import over $200 billion in goods. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, in the first visit by a Pentagon chief to Panama in decades, said he sees the canal as key terrain that Panama would secure together with the U.S. and not with China. Panama had said the United States recognized its sovereignty over the Panama Canal despite tough rhetoric from Washington, D.C. Accusing Mexico of breaking an 81-year-old treaty and selling the water from Texas farmers, Donald Trump threatened Mexico with sanctions and a tariff in a dispute over water sharing between the two countries. Responding to the accusations, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum said that it has been complying with the treaty to the extent water is available amid 3 years of drought. Mexico has sent a proposal to U.S. officials to address the water supply to Texas. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that the United Nations will hold direct talks with Iran on Saturday to discuss Iran's nuclear program. The talks between U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and a senior Iranian leader are scheduled for Saturday in Oman. A tourist helicopter plummeted upside down into New York City's Hudson River on Thursday, killing all 6 people on board, including a Spanish family with 3 children and the pilot. We're taking a quick break at this point and we'll be back with more of the latest in Express News. Stay with us.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Swagat ahe to magnetic Maharashtra, the land of valor, dreams and wonders. A state that is a perfect blend of rich cultural heritage and modern culture.
Welcome back. You're watching Express News on DD India. Now, in order to provide help to Myanmar's worst quake-hit city, the Indian Army has deployed robo-mules and nano-drones for search and rescue operations as part of Operation Brahma. Northern China is bracing for typhoon-like gales this weekend, with the Chinese capital of Beijing postponing major sporting events, closing parks, suspending train services and warning its 22 million residents against non-essential travel. Beijing has postponed a half-marathon originally scheduled for Sunday, in which humanoid robots will race alongside human runners due to a forecast of very strong winds for this weekend. Heavy snow is also expected to blanket parts of the Chinese region of Inner Mongolia as well as northeast China, while southern China could be hit by the most intense hailstorms so far this year. Storms, heavy rain and lightning have turned disastrous in the Indian state of Bihar, claiming at least 58 lives across the state. According to Bihar Weather Service Center, rain is likely over the next 48 hours in the northern and northeastern regions of the state. Disaster Management Department has also issued advisories to all districts. While in North India's Uttar Pradesh, at least 22 people, including 5 women, lost their lives in rain-related incidents. Uttar Pradesh's Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has announced an ex-gratia of 4 rupees, that's 4 lakh rupees to the family of the deceased. The Indian Met Department has said that there will be a fall in the maximum temperature by 3 to 5 degrees Celsius over the northwestern parts of India during the next 3 days and a gradual rise by 2 to 4 degrees Celsius thereafter during the subsequent 14 days. Severe floods in Bolivia have highlighted concerns about rising cases of contagious and water-related diseases. A new exhibition at Paris's Jeu de Paume museum titled The World According to AI showcases how artists are responding to the growing presence of artificial intelligence. Featuring around 50 works, which include photos, sculptures and short films, many created with the help of AI, the show explores how this technology is reshaping our view of reality. A spellbinding exhibition of Cartier jewels is opening in London, tracing the history of the luxury French design house beloved by the rich and the famous, from Queen Elizabeth II to Rihanna. The exhibition's curators have brought together rare pieces from museums around the world, including from private collections such as items belonging to King Charles III and Monaco's Prince Albert. 54-year-old Shizuko Kimura has become this year the first female sushi chef in the world to be recognized by the Michelin Guide for her Sushi Shuni restaurant located in the heart of Montmartre, Paris. The 2025 World Expo in Osaka, Japan kicks off on the 13th of April, uniting 158 countries under the theme Designing Future Society for Our Lives. With a strong emphasis on sustainability, the event showcases innovative, eco-friendly solutions from around the world. A king penguin returned to its natural habitat on Monday after months of rehabilitation at the Argentine Mundo Marino Foundation, where it's been treated for severe injuries. A Sotheby's Dubai exhibit showcased a collection of Islamic arms and armors assembled by scholar and collector Philippe Gilles-René Miseria over approximately 5 decades. The centerpiece of the exhibition was the World Capturer sword that belonged to Emperor Shah Jahan, the 5th Mughal emperor. The UK's National Mapping Service has created one of the most ambitious builds ever undertaken in the popular video game Minecraft, using 100 billion blocks to create an accurate map of Great Britain. Inspired by the release of a Minecraft movie, Ordnance Survey is now inviting players to download their local area and build, demolish anything they want. An agricultural student in Mongolia has launched Zoo Coffee and Lounge that provides unique service concept that combines a zoo-like setting with a cafe experience. The lounge aims to provide a tranquil atmosphere where customers can unwind and connect with nature while enjoying hot tea and cold drinks. Prada has struck a deal to buy smaller rival Versace from Capri Holdings in a move to unite the two of the biggest names in Italian fashion. The deal has an enterprise value of $1.375 billion as Prada is seeking to expand, having defied a slowdown in luxury demand while Versace has been operating at a loss. The official lineup for the 78th edition of the Cannes Film Festival has been announced a short while ago. The festival kicks off on the 13th of May and runs through the 24th of this month. Some of the most anticipated films to be screened at Cannes this year include Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, the concluding chapter of Tom Cruise's action-packed franchise, Wes Anderson's The Phoenician Scheme, Richard Linklater's New Wig and Ari Aster's Eddington, among others. Legendary filmmaker Spike Lee announced that his late crime thriller film Highest to Lowest will debut in out-of-competition section at this year's Cannes Film Festival. Scarlett Johansson and Harris Dickinson will both make their directorial debuts at this year's Cannes Film Festival. Johansson will present her first lecture titled Eleanor the Great, whereas Dickinson will debut in his feature film titled Urchin. Indian cinema's got a proud moment as Indian film Homebound has been officially selected for the Uncertain Regard section at the Cannes Film Festival. The much anticipated British television series Black Mirror returns to Netflix on Thursday for a 7th season. Actress Amy Peets will join the cast of Elle, an upcoming Amazon Prime video series that serves as the prequel to Reese Witherspoon's comedy movie Legally Blonde. The Righteous Gemstones actor Tony Cavallero is set to appear in a new psychological thriller titled The Silence Game. The newest Star Wars television series, the second season of Andor, starring Diego Luna, was unveiled at a special preview event in London. And in the Indian Premier League, Chennai Super Kings aim to bounce back from consecutive losses as they host Kolkata Knight Riders at the Chepauk on Friday. KL Rahul scored a measured 93 not out to guide Delhi Capitals to a 6-wicket win against Royal Challengers Bengaluru in IPL on Thursday night. Bangladesh has commenced their ICC Women's Cricket World Cup Qualifier 2025 journey in style, securing a decisive 178-run victory over Thailand. The Indian women's hockey team all set to tour Australia for a 5-match series scheduled from the 26th of April to the 4th of May. India concluded their International Shooting Sport Federation World Cup campaign with a total of 8 medals, including 4 gold medals. Dhruv Kapila and Tanisha Castro lost their straight games in the mixed doubles quarterfinals of the Badminton Asia Championships in China. In tennis, the Indian team secured a 2-1 victory against Hong Kong in the Billie Jean King Group Asia Oceania. Carlos Alcaraz cruised into the Monte Carlo Masters quarterfinals for the first time on Thursday with a straight sets win over Daniil Almeida. Magnus Carlsen booked his spot in the Paris Freestyle Chess Grand Slam semi-final after beating Uzbekistan's Nordbek Asudbasoro. Hikaru Nakamura and Vincent Kiemer also advanced to the semi-finals of the tournament after their respective wins. Meanwhile, India's reigning world champion, that is chess champion Gukesh, faced elimination after losing to Hungary's Richard Rapport. Esteemed Dutch soccer coach Leo Beenhakker, renowned for his successful stints with top European clubs and national teams, has passed away at the age of 82. Star forward Mohamed Salah has been signed a new contract to extend his 8-year stay at Liverpool. Ryan Cherki earned Lyon a dramatic 2-2 draw with Manchester United and the first leg of the Europa League tournament being split up. An Australian sprinting prodigy Good ran the 100 metres in a wind-assisted 9.99 seconds twice in Perth on Thursday. And that's it for now in this edition of Express News. For all the latest, keep watching DD India.